Well, it was an intensely quiet session for the market where stocks really never even attempted to get out of the gate. And while there wasn't a sense of panic, there's certainly anxiety ahead of the jobs data tomorrow and, of course, Friday. The operative word is tranquil, but that does not mean without risk or concern. Here to discuss the markets and where the economy goes from here, Shah Gilani, Don Peebles, and Ed Conard. Don, let me start with you. You have to invest in this economy. You have to understand where the tea leaves are. You put your money where your mouth is, a lot of money at that. How are you feeling about things? Because there's two stories going on. There's obviously, the economic needle is obviously moved, but people are concerned if Trump's economic agenda doesn't make it through, it will be short-lived.
Yeah, look, I think what happened, especially in my business, in the real estate business, is there was a sense of optimism. After the November elections, we expected tax reform and financial reform to put more capital in the marketplace. And now that it's apparent that that's not going to happen anytime soon, certainly not by the summer recess and probably not likely before the end of the year, people are, beginning to be a little more careful. We're strategically being careful. We're careful here in New York City, but other places around the country, Washington, D.C., Charlotte, North Carolina, and other places where there are lower taxes, say like Florida, we're very optimistic there. But we right now we're concerned about the uncertainty,
right.
And I think that's something that our Congress and our president need to work together to get that done.
And one thing we do know is that the economy has been energized in a sense that we know that there won't be higher taxes. We know there won't be more regulations. There was sort of a relief rally in the markets and in the economy. The fact that simply the President Obama's sort of war on business has been put on pause. How important is it, though, to keep this going? Because it feels like businesses have gotten back to the business of succeeding, taking market share, developing a better mousetrap.
Yeah, I think it's important for the Republicans to move forward with tax reform and
are you confident they will?
Reform. Yeah, I think the markets might have been overconfident when they started. They now realize how difficult it is to push this through Congress over the next couple of years. But I think that the market remains confident that Republicans are going to step up and make some changes to the status quo that will have a significant impact on the economy. Because even discounting the fact that it might change, they still have put about a 15% increase into the market, which means that they're very optimistic about what changes could be made to grow the economy.
President Trump met with the president of Vietnam today, walked away with $17 billion in deals. But Shaw, you're worried about globalism. How does someone who invests in the stock market also have an anxiety or a concern about globalism? Do they conflict?
They do sometimes, but not all the time. It really depends on the domicile of the company, and if they're U.S. companies overseas, then a lot of the trade pacts are very beneficial to the U.S. companies. I think if you take a look at what the deal is, we don't know the particulars of the deal with Vietnam, but it's about a $17 billion deal.
$100 billion, Saudi Arabia. I mean, the money is starting to pour in from different parts of the world.
But that's a good. If he's
is that globalism?
Not so much. It's not, because this is not TC. This is not Trans-Pacific. This is bilateral negotiations, and I think it's better for the economy that we do that than we do something that benefits the rest of the world without the United States.
Don, by the same token, foreign direct investment in this country in 2008, I think, was like $360 billion. It dwindled year after year after year. Is there anything wrong with getting this money to pour into our country? Because there used to be sort of anxiety about that, China owning something or Japan owning Rockefeller Center.
Well, look, I think having foreign investment in our economy, especially in the real estate business, is a good thing. It stimulates jobs and economic development. New construction creates the jobs that we desperately need in the economy. What happened is the liberal side of our politics started thinking that somehow foreign investment was driving up the price because it was creating, more demand.
Right.
And to make things affordable, they were trying to discourage international investment. That's the wrong approach.
Yeah.
More construction lowers cost.
I remember the city council in Cleveland in 2009 said no outside investment in housing. I thought it was absolutely nuts. I'm going to ask Ed and Shaw before we go. The market rally, can it be sustained if the Trump economic agenda is pushed to 2018, Ed?
I don't think so.
Really? Shaw?
I'm optimistic that it can be. Earnings have come out very spectacularly in the first quarter. We had double-digit growth in earnings across the board pretty much. I think if that is sustainable through the second quarter, then the market can hang on here because it still has looking forward to the prospect of something getting done.
Not only that, though, I agree with you, but I think Friday will underscore the fact that wages are starting to go up, and I think people are going to start spending that money, 70% of the economy.
Yeah.
That might keep the market going. Guys, thank you all very much.